My name is Talia Ho, and I did a case study on major depressive disorder on the book Darkness Visible, A Memoir of Madness by William Styron. William Styron was born June 11th, 1925 in Newport News, Virginia. His father was a shipyard engineer who also suffered from depression, and his mother passed away when he was only 13. Darkness Visible was written in 1990, and it's an autobiographical work on his battle with clinical depression, which is also known as major depressive disorder, and in the past melancholia. At first, when there were signs that he was getting depression, he denied it until he was deep into depression. He first became fully aware that his disorder might have a fatal outcome in October 1985 in Paris. He flew there to accept an award, Prix Mondial Sino del Duca. It's a prestigious award which was awarded annually to a scientist or an artist whose work reflected the values of humanism. While he should have been extremely happy to accept this award, his depression prevented him from being happy. He actually felt a sense of self-loathe because he felt that he didn't deserve the award. A few months before he flew to Paris, he had completely stopped drinking. He had stopped drinking not because he wanted to not drink, but because he couldn't drink anymore. A little bit of alcohol was giving him nausea. He described it as if his liver was telling him to stop drinking. Styron had used alcohol to enhance his imagination and to be able to write better, and felt abandoned when he could no longer use it. Styron connected the onset of his depression with this deprivation. Without alcohol, he felt that nightfall seemed more somber, mornings were less buoyant, walks were less zestful, and working late at night gave him panic and anxiety even though he used to do it all the time. It is unclear as to why he got depression. It might have been because of the withdrawal from alcohol, drugs, or personal experiences. By drugs, I mean Halcyon. He took it because of his insomnia. And Halcyon is a drug capable of causing depressive mood and precipitating a major depression. Styron will later find out that his dosage was 3 times the normally prescribed dosage. Styron had started searching for help and took different kinds of depression pills with painful side effects until he could no longer stand his depression and went to the hospital. None of these pills were able to help him at all. This book educates depression and hopelessness one with depression would feel. Styron's definition of depression is that depression is a disorder of mood, so mysteriously painful and elusive in a way it becomes known to the self, to the mediating intellect, as to verge close to being beyond description. It thus remains nearly incomprehensible to those who have not experienced it in its extreme mode, although the gloom, the blues, which people go through occasionally and associate with the general hassle of everyday existence, are of such prevalence that they do give many individuals a hint of the illness in its catastrophic form. He says that it is nearly impossible for someone who doesn't have depression to be able to begin to imagine how depression feels. According to the DSM, a major depressive episode is a period lasting for 2 weeks or more in which the person has at least 5 symptoms of depression. The symptoms are depressed mood, diminished interest or pleasure in almost all activities, significant weight loss, a significant weight gain, a loss of appetite, a gain of appetite, fatigue, or loss of energy, insomnia or hyperinsomnia, psychomotor agitation or retardation, feelings of worthlessness or helplessness or excessive guilt, recurrent thoughts of suicide, a suicide attempt, or a plan to commit suicide. In order to receive a diagnosis of major depressive disorder, the person must experience a major depressive episode without having any history of mania. According to our textbook, the 5 categories of major depressive disorder are recurrent, seasonal, postpartum, catatonic, and melancholic. Styron would receive a diagnosis of melancholic because it is when the person is totally unaffected by pleasurable events. Receiving the award was one he wasn't able to enjoy receiving the award. Styron often associated depression with serious medical conditions such as diabetes or cancer.